Look at this smoldering Iranian military facility. Now picture a state-of-the-art missile defense system standing guard over Taipei, Taiwan, 5,000 miles away. This interplay transforms these distant sites into the opposing fronts of a quiet, retaliatory conflict between Israel and China. Historically, Jerusalem and Beijing are not enemies. On paper, they operate as highly integrated global trading partners. Yet beneath the trade agreements, both nations are actively supplying military technology to the other's greatest regional rival. This chart tracks the massive scale of their economic relationship. You can see the trade volume climbing rapidly, projected to hit $27 billion by 2025. That financial bond has proven resilient. During recent regional conflicts, when most foreign carriers canceled their routes to Israel entirely, Chinese airlines kept flying. On the official diplomatic track, leaders regularly emphasize a mutual respect for each other's ancient histories and cultures. This lucrative public partnership stops at a single, non-negotiable priority: Israel's mandate to dismantle Iran's nuclear and ballistic missile program. China maintains a policy of non-interference by exploiting the gray area of dual-use technology. They export commercial goods to Tehran that function as critical components for Iranian military systems. Take the TEE-01B satellite. A Chinese commercial company sold it, but leaked military documents show Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps utilized it to monitor U.S. and allied bases right before launching drone and missile strikes. But commercial spy satellites are only one part of the problem. A far more significant supply line involves the chemical materials required to produce solid fuel for long-range ballistic missiles. By hitting 2,600 targets, Israel reduced Iran's pre-war stockpile of 2,500 ballistic missiles to a few hundred. This damaged Tehran's manufacturing, setting their production timeline back 2 years. However, Chinese shipments of dual-use solid fuel could shave years off that recovery. By utilizing international trade classifications, Beijing provides the resources Iran needs to rapidly rebuild its offensive threat to Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has explicitly named the support, directly contradicting Beijing's official denials. Israel calculated that waiting on Washington to negotiate with Beijing was too slow. Standard diplomatic channels were failing to stop the flow of Chinese technology into Tehran, so Israel authorized an aggressive countermove. They quietly dispatched the new head of Mossad intelligence, Roman Gothman, to operate in Taiwan. Gothman's objective is to funnel Israeli defense technology to Taipei, helping them construct the T-Dome, Taiwan's own version of the Iron Dome. Israel is creating a geographic consequence. If China equips Israel's adversaries in the Middle East, Israel will provide the technology to fortify China's most sensitive territorial vulnerability. The diplomatic blowback was immediate. The Chinese embassy in Israel issued a series of warnings against Israeli officials visiting Taiwan, demanding strict adherence to the One China policy. Yet, when questioned about their shipments to Tehran, Beijing insists it has the sovereign right to sell defensive equipment to Iran. Israel is now exploiting this exact contradiction. China asserts the legal right to arm Iran defensively, but demands Israel refrain from providing that exact same defensive capability to Taiwan. Beijing rejects the comparison. In their view, Taipei isn't a foreign ally of Israel. It is sovereign Chinese territory. The definition of defensive technology has become entirely subjective, used by both sides to justify proxy escalations while claiming to follow international law. The Middle East and the South China Sea are no longer separate spheres of influence. A targeted missile strike in the Iranian desert now directly echoes in the air defense strategy of Taipei. Even $27 billion in annual trade has failed to prevent these nations from engaging in quiet military sabotage. Ultimately, the timeline of Iran's missile recovery will dictate the arrival of Israel.